Hello and welcome to Anfield Road TV. Reds from around the world, let me know your thoughts going into what is yet again another massive game for Liverpool Football Club. I'm looking forward to this, Reds. It's going to be probably one of our most difficult this season, to say the least, as we will very much unpack on tonight's evening show. But if you are watching this on the post live, if you just discovered Anfield Road TV for the first time, hit that subscribe button if you want to keep up to date on all things Liverpool throughout the week as well. And make sure to follow us on all social media platforms, and whether that be on Facebook, YouTube, X, and obviously Instagram and TikTok as well. A lot more the shorter form content does very much go on to obviously TikTok and everything. So if you don't really want to watch the hour long blockbuster episodes, it very much does get broken down a lot quicker anyway. But Reds, hope you've all had a very good week. Good end to your weekend anyway. Friday, it's the weekend tomorrow anyway, and most importantly, the Reds are back in action tomorrow. So yeah, against Fulham, and historically in the last couple of seasons, we know how Fulham have been against Liverpool, especially in the cup games last season. For Liverpool, it was the very well-run football club, a historic football club in the Premier League, Craven Cottage, a very world-renowned football stadium. I think we all remember, not too in the Roy era, very much. Roy going quite deep in European competition, getting to the final. I think it was the Europa League anyway at that time, and it was madness. You'd see some crazy teams rocking up at at the Hawthorn, not Hawthorns, at their ground anyway, and I'm looking forward to it. In terms of, as you know, Alex Iwobi settled to life post Everton really well at Fulham. You know what you're going to get from Alex Iwobi, but certainly is going to be one of the main goal threats coming into the game tomorrow as well. And we'll quickly rattling through. Obviously, we got the announcements today that we almost knew it was going to be a double winner for Liverpool in the Premier League Player of the Month and obviously Manager Player of the Month as well for November. Because of course we're absolutely flying this season. Very surprised that the lads, and certainly Mo hasn't won already a lot more Player of the Months, because I think he frankly does deserve it as well. And obviously Arne, it's great to see that he's getting the recognition outside of not just Liverpool anyway, and just going to show the quality in which he does possess, and certainly what he's brought to Liverpool in the early stages of his Liverpool career as well. And Salah, I think that marks his sixth Player of the Month, which is for how long he's been in the Premier League, and the numbers very much he has already put in to this league in terms of season on season. I'm very surprised he's not got a bit more, but that's my bias really. I think he deserves at least easy 10, 11, because the seasons in which he was at 8 seasons now he's been in the Premier League, 8-season wonder. We continue that going as well. But Fulham, this season, as you can see anyway, 10th in the Premier League this season. They're only 4 points off Manchester City in 4th. And I say only, but it just goes to show how ultra competitive the Premier League has been so far this season as well. Obviously scored 22 goals, only conceded 20 goals against. So when you look at it, I think in terms of the way I look at Fulham, similar to the way in which I do look at Crystal Palace as well, that they're only probably, I only say it probably are, like they're only, as in it's easy to go out and get a top elite level striker, but a team like Fulham, I think gone are the days of watching them when you had Bobby Zamora, Duff as well, and other great players out there as well. It's Scott Parker as well. Like there's so many great Fulham legendary, historic, properly Premier League heritage players. Chat, if there's one player that comes to your mind, do let us know in the comment section below. And if you're watching on the live show as well, make sure you get your comments in. We'll get through all of them this evening as well. Get your score predictions in the comment section below. I'm going to go straight into it. For us, really, it's not going to be an easy one. I know we're at home, and we're expected to absolutely barnstorm them, but I think tomorrow will be again a 3 p.m. kickoff. It's going to be another slug of a game. I'm not. I think we'd all love a 4-5 nil. But if, in terms of just the overall quality that Fulham certainly do possess within the Premier League, it's going to be another difficult game for Liverpool. Just in terms of the players coming into this game that will be missing for Fulham tomorrow evening anyway, tomorrow afternoon. Calvin Bassey suspended. Joachim Anderson, obviously he's got a calf injury. He's out until in around late December time. So that's one that Fulham fans will be very disappointed, I think, when he did get injured not too long ago anyway. Come in for a big money move anyway, and certainly he was already one of the Premier League's most established centre-halves at Crystal Palace. I think he's done really well. I think that's a very big coup for a side like Fulham. I think in terms of getting them, it was 30 odd million or probably a bit more in and around there as well. Whatever it was, it's an absolute steal because I really do rate Joachim Anderson. Really top level centre half, especially considering the quality, the lack of their quality of centre half. But I think certainly in the Premier League, I think Anderson's a stellar sign, and certainly goes to show exactly prior to his injury why they very much did find themselves 10th in the Premier League. And I think the quicker they get him back, certainly will very much bode well in terms of them finishing, hopefully from the Fulham point of view, a bit more higher in the Premier League as well. Harrison Reed, he's out until late December. Tom Kearney, another one. So you got two players out due to suspension as well. Calvin Bassey and obviously Tom Kearney, the Scotland midfielder as well. He's out. And Reece Nelson, hamstring injury, looking like a mid-February 2025 job, really. So Reece Nelson, obviously, I think he's on loan. If there's any Fulham fans, let us know. But he's another one of them from Arsenal. Electric pace. He's got that bit of quality, really, not on anything too amazing wise, but certainly for Liverpool, could have provided Liverpool with a bit of a threat, really. But in terms of when you do look at the starting 11s as well, in terms of how they're expected to come into this game, Leno at the back, obviously Kenny Tete as well, very underrated right back in my opinion in the Premier League. Papa Diop, Cuenca as well, Robinson, obviously American fullback. What a signing he's been for Fulham, really. I think he's outside the top four. I think he's the last couple of seasons, he's certainly been one of the best left backs in the Premier League, outside of the historic top four teams anyway. If he was a couple, say 3, 4, 5 years younger, I think he would have ended up at Liverpool. I think everyone's been impressed about him anyway, but I think Liverpool will notably go for a bit more of a younger centre half, i.e. Nathan Nuri or a Kirkes at Bournemouth as well. But Anthony Robinson, certainly, what a left back, and he's caused Liverpool a lot of issues in the previous seasons as well. Van der Berg, obviously the big lads, signed from Sheffield United at the beginning of the season as well. A lot of Sheffield fans weren't best too pleased, but you look at how good Sheffield United they've got back into the Championship swing of things. I expect them to be in the promotion spots, or if not, in the top 2 spots, Sheffield. But he's a big miss for them, and certainly just coming to Fulham off the back of obviously losing Paulinho as well to Bayern Munich. I think for any side, losing the quality of Paulinho, I think Fulham fans were, and a lot of Premier League fans were very disgruntled, just mainly due to the noise really surrounding Paulinho, since that Bayern Munich were absolutely doing Fulham's heads in. And it is understandable. A team like Bayern Munich, they've got the money, go and spend it as well. Especially when you look at the caliber of Paulinho. Fulham, they've not got amazing amounts of money. So eventually Bayern Munich, Fulham, of course, had a big price tag, but it was only understandable because he was their top man anyway. But I think in terms of bringing Van der Berg in, I think he's done not as good as job, but he certainly plugged the gaps that Paulinho that has left within that Fulham side. Lukic as well pivots really well with Van der Berg. Pereira, Adama Traore down the right wing expected, and Iwobi off the left flank, and then Raul Jimenez is expected to lead the line for tomorrow afternoon's game. But in terms of Jimenez, obviously 5 goals, 2 assists in the Premier League. Iwobi 5 goals, 3 assists, and obviously Smith Rowe 3 goals, 2 assists as well. I think that's been a big money move for Smith Rowe. He needed to get out of Arsenal because certainly he was very much an attacking midfielder that showed a lot of promise at Arsenal, and I think we all do very much agree with that in terms of he just wasn't really getting a consistent run of games. Injuries prohibited, weren't the best really in terms of his career, but it was good to see very much him get the opportunity this season for big money move. But I think certainly for this first season, I think Fulham's fans and rival fans, neutrals will go, oh, what? He's only got 3 goals, 2 assists. But in terms of when you think about the quality round, him at Fulham, no disrespect to Fulham, watching them absolutely 5-0 tomorrow. But certainly, you look at a player, I look at a player like Pereira, obviously the central attacking midfielder that he left United all those years ago, but I felt for me, I think he was a player that certainly could have elevated his game, and you see glimpses with Pereira in that Fulham side. He's not really been good enough in terms of his output for Fulham this season. Pereira, he only had 1 goal in the Premier League for his standard and his quality, really. It's frankly not good enough, really. Adama Traore, he's got 1 goal, 3 assists as well. Adama Traore is probably one of the biggest enigmas in world football. I think if he could actually deliver a final ball, it'd be worth 80 to 100 odd million pounds worth of winger anyway. Obviously, he started to life in the Barcelona. Well, he was in the Barcelona academy, which is understandable. Player of his ability, player of his age as well, with that electric pace. It's certainly, I think, many of a manager have brought Adama to their football club with the hope of trying to capture the best qualities of him, really. But he's still always going to be providing any fullback with a lot of threat, really, considering the amount of pace he does possess as well. But still, that's still a skill set in itself, anyway. But Mr. C, big up, mate. Evening, Jack. Regardless who the opposition is, need to keep the standards they've achieved so far this season. I would expect a 3-1 win, but don't underestimate Fulham as well. Mr. C, who are you playing this weekend, mate? I was going to say massive thank you for tuning in, mate, as always. And rival fans, Liverpool fans, do let us know your thoughts. But Mr. C's gone with a 3-1 win. But it's the thing in terms of you'll have, and this is where I've personally learned from Liverpool being in title run-ins, especially when we had Rodgers. We had that one season where Suarez tried to just win the league on his own, really. And obviously with Rafa, we had a couple of second place finishes, and certainly under Gerard Houllier, we come second on a couple of occasions as well. But in terms of really establishing Liverpool as a consistent team at the top end of the Premier League, certainly I think we've just got to have that maturity about our game. And we've certainly got that type of quality, certainly, Mr. C, in our side. We've got leaders. That's very much the case of what Arsenal are missing, in my opinion, Reds. Jack, let us know. You look at that Arsenal side, there's still a young side with a lot of inexperience. I think the fact that, and even Arteta to a certain extent as well, which is understandable because I know Arsenal fans will be banging the drum if Arsenal aren't in a title race this season, and at the looks of it, but it's only December. A lot can change within football, but I think I just look at the way in which Arsenal did chase out Arsene Wenger for what he'd done for that football club. I think Arteta won't be given time, but the thing that Arsenal need to give Arteta is time, because I think he's only going to learn and mature in his sides and mature over time with learning harsh lessons like this season as well. If they are 10 points clear, then they need to go out and buy a top world-class striker, another central midfielder that is on the level of Odegaard, and that's certainly where Liverpool will land ourselves in terms of hopefully come January time. If we do have injuries, then the club, hope fingers crossed, will go out and sign some quality players to bring him in as well, Paul. Yes. Seeing the mix of goal scorers and assists, you can see that every team have multiple ways of scoring. Yeah. The thing is, Mr. C, I know I've got a load of Everton mates, and Iwobi, he was one of them. He was a very strange player. Alex Iwobi at Everton. I think Everton fans didn't take to him. I think they were very frustrated, but I think similar with most clubs, there's always players when they do depart that do get a lot more of the stick, wrongfully so. And that was very much the case in point of Iwobi at Everton. He seemed to be the player that always used to get the stick on in terms of bad individual performances as well. But yeah, it's good to see Iwobi. He's made a great career out of himself in terms of the Premier League. To very much be still in the Premier League in and around his age as well. Just goes to show the quality he still does possess. And certainly it will be interesting to see how his season does transpire. Because I tell you what, if he can get 10 goals, 10 assists, he's already nearly halfway there, and we're only in December. That would be an absolutely standout season for Alex Iwobi. And those statistics, when I was looking at it as well, coming into this game, I think he's overperforming to what I think his level is. But that's it's my opinion anyway. But it's going to be one of them. Chat, let us know your thoughts on some of these Fulham players as well. Paul, hi Jack, I'm watching this in the kitchen as my missus has been defrosting the feckin' freezer ready for Christmas. Yeah, Paul, we just put up the Christmas tree then before. Going to be putting on the lights in a bit later as well. But yeah, Paul, festive Christmas period as well, mate. Yeah, you don't want to be getting in trouble there, Paul. Just stay clear, mate. Anyway, you know the score. So yeah, hopefully that goes well, mate. And most importantly, the Christmas food will be ready for Crimbo Day anyway. But nice one, Paul. Anyway, Paul, what's your score prediction going into tomorrow, mate? It's going to be obviously. I will be live at 2:30 on the Anfield Index. Looking forward to it again. And it's going to be a 3 p.m. kickoff. So everyone, I know if you're not aware, obviously we are doing the watch-alongs on Anfield Index all this season as well. So that will be live from 2:30 and taking you through every last kick of the game. And hopefully it's another 3 points for Liverpool. Fingers crossed. And yeah. Well, yeah, Wolves, Mr. C. Oh, he's playing Wolves. That'll be... It's Wolves, though. It is Wolves. You should be expected to beat Wolves, but Wolves are just weird, lad, aren't they? Obviously, from your lad's point of view, away from home. Yeah. You should probably do them there, Mr. C. I think he's will. It's Wolves. Like if there's a guaranteed 3 points around Christmas time, it will be Wolves because I think it was the Wolves game that he played against West Ham. You've got the players. They're just, I think personally, like you do see with a lot of Premier League teams and certain teams and players that I felt that they weren't playing for them. Gary O'Neill, those Wolves players, but. Mr. C, I think you'll be sound against Wolves. I think that will be three points for your first couple of points at December time anyway, mate. Dave, lads. Dave, I'll drop you the link, mate, if you are free. But no worries, Dave. Hope everything's getting sorted for Christmas and that, Dave. And you have a very good Crimbo, mate. So I'll speak to you after the show, Dave, anyway. Give us a call or whatnot. And all good, mate. All good. We'll take points from any. Yeah. Now, I think you'll be sound this weekend, mate, against them. At the game tomorrow, so I'm open for a win. But Fulham have some great attacking options. Iwobi and Harry Wilson, a few others. I'm going with a 2-1 win, Paul. Yeah, it's not. And you probably over the years you've been going the game, mate. Fulham are one of these sides that when they come to Anfield, they don't just sit behind the ball. They come and try and play football the right way. And I think in the manager in terms in which they do have, in terms of Marco Silva, for me personally, he's an absolutely phenomenal manager. And it just baffles me to the reasoning why Everton Football Club did get rid of Marco Silva. You do look at a manager like Marco Silva and Thomas Frank. I think for me, outside the top 6 managers, I do think for me they're my personal favourites in terms of managers that do an amazing job. But and of course I'll add to that obviously Brighton. Well, any Brighton manager of the last 5 years, because Brighton's recruitment is ridiculous. But in terms of managers that don't get enough credit for me, Marco Silva and Thomas Frank anyway. I'm just made up. Thomas Frank didn't get the Manchester United job because he's at a far bigger football club, Thomas. And hopefully one day either Marco Silva or Thomas Frank do get a bit more bigger job. No disrespect to their teams because they're doing an amazing job. But if you were to get a top elite level job within European football, certainly when their time hopefully does come, I'm pretty sure the fans will very much back them as well. And so it's Craven Cottage. Chat, I'm trying to remember some of the ex Fulham players that I used to watch growing up as a kid as well, like Bobby Zamora as well. So many other big. Who was the big lad that used to play for Fulham? The absolute giant. It was a Hangeland, was he? Yeah, I think it was Hangeland. And when Jan Reese used to play for Fulham as well. I'll tell you what, should get ready my match attack book out anyway, and it looks some absolute classic Premier League heritage players as well. But I'm gonna go with 2-0 to Liverpool Reds. I think it will be a difficult game to say the least anyway, Reds. But yeah, fingers crossed that can very much do the job. Marco's a sound manager. They press and attack and know how to defend. Silva knows how to set up a team. And it's very much the case of Paul, and you're spot on there, making your assessments is very much, and I think Fulham fans, if you actually ask them as well, they have, and again, obviously down south, the tickets, season tickets, higher price of living and everything really. But in terms of the season tickets, I think they've got one of the most expensive season tickets in the Premier League, and if not within European football as well, in the top 5 leagues. But in terms of where they are situated, they're in London, or wherever Fulham is, around there, down south anyway. But it's an attractive proposition. And for me, I feel if you can keep hold of Marco Silva and they can get a bit more proper investment into the football club, certainly there's no reason why Fulham should not be competing for at least a Europa League conference spot or a Europa League position. Because as I mentioned at the top of the show, big boy, getting European football, remember those a very long time ago. So all the foundation blocks are there as well, certainly for them. But in terms of other game, but certainly coming into this game, Liverpool need to be under no illusions, and we all know this, Reds, as well. I think if we play our game, certainly we could potentially do the job. But it's going to be coming in terms of that battle in that Liverpool midfield. You're looking at Alexis McAllister coming back, which is a big positive. Obviously, he was out due to suspension over the last 2 games on a European level, and on obviously the game against Everton that did get voided anyway, but that didn't get played. So, Maka he'll be missing the sorry there, chat. He'll be missing obviously the Fulham game. Apologies there, chat. Yeah, Alexis McAllister's out. Put that on my notes, silly me. But yeah, obviously Maka will be missing for this game, coming into tomorrow's game. Costas is still out, Ibu's still out, Connor's still out. And the 2 players, which is good positive, if he did miss the press conference today, if he'd been out and about in work, Jota should be back. Arne Slot did say, which is a good positive really to see him coming back into the squad. And Chiesa is very much touch and go, but depends on how he's been. But both of those lads are in first team training. He said that there's 1 session left to go, and he'll very much assess them within the squad tomorrow. So I think it's a big plus. Because there is a lot of, and we've spoke about this already this week, haven't we, Reds, in terms of Darwin Núñez's potential. We need him to start scoring goals, but certainly Diogo Jota in this Christmas period, because Diaz, Gakpo, they need rests Both of those two lads have been playing ridiculous amounts of minutes. Certainly Mohamed Salah as well. We know he's just come off the back of winning the November Player of the Month, but as much as Mo doesn't like getting dropped, he needs to be getting rotated because we continue to play him all the way through December, and then we get into January. That's where I think historically, I think every Liverpool fan can agree, Mo does not struggle, but he does tend to very much go through certain patches of where he does go some games without scoring. And that's where all the neutral fans are going, oh yeah, but he's just stat padding, lad. And you're like, nah, because how can my man stat pad when he gets bang on 30 plus goals and assists every season? So that's some stat padding that against Premier League teams, but well, it's still an 8-season wonder or whatever narrative they want to spin with Salah. Just absolutely batters every statistic out of the water, really, Mohamed. So, which is absolutely fantastic. Callum, how are we, mate? All right, Callum, lad. That's as Paul said, please, no, that's some players missing. Yeah, just. Who are they? Arsenal playing this week? They are playing the Ev. Tell you what, Arsenal, if you don't get 3 points against them. So in the other games as well, just quickly looking at them. Chelsea are at home on the 15th. So I think that's Sunday. Yeah. Oh no, that's yeah. So you got Brighton at home against Crystal Palace, Manchester City at home against Manchester United. Wow. Chat, who are we expecting to win the Manchester Derby? That is going to be some very poor bit of football, considering how bad both of them have been playing anyway. But it's, and I know Manchester United have not got Gokares, the Sporting Lisbon striker, but certainly in terms of, because it wasn't too long ago, it was only a couple of weeks ago that Amarin did play Manchester City in the Champions League. Was it 2-3 weeks ago? And Sporting absolutely walloped Manchester City. It was a 4-1 or something stupid. So is Amarin going to do back-to-back games against Pep Guardiola where he beats him, especially away from home as well? That would give the world of confidence to Manchester United, and certainly give the confidence to very much Amarin, the confidence, the belief as well. But fingers crossed it's a draw from our point of view, because we don't want any of them to win. A draw is best, takes 2 points off them both anyway. Tottenham away from home against Southampton. If Ange doesn't beat Southampton Reds, or rival, what we say in chat, I'm fully expecting Ange to very much get sacked if he can't beat Southampton away. Like, they were appalling. Did any of you watch the not the Champions League? Imagine Tottenham being in the Champions League this season. The Europa League conference, because that was absolutely horrendous. Especially Ange being an ex-Celtic manager as well, going to Ibrox. Yeah, Tottenham are a million miles away from where they used to be as a football club. I'm very surprised that Son, I have to check how old Son was. He's 32 now. Like, I know he's been around, we all know he's been around the block anyway in terms of in the Premier League, but 32 years old. I'd say has he got one big last move in him, but surely Son has to win a league title before he retires. Harry Kane's left. Surely Harry Kane has to have a little words with someone at Bayern Munich and just say, can you bring Son to a club that actually wins some form of trophies anyway? So it's going to be one of them. Bournemouth versus West Ham. Bournemouth at home as well. You'd expect Bournemouth to win that, certainly. And the other games, Wolves versus Ipswich as well. And obviously, as Mr. CEO was saying there, Leicester. Newcastle and Leicester as well. I think any other games. Oh no, you're Mr. C, your Ipswich side are away. Against Wolves as well. But chat, let us know your scores on those other games as well and the predictions. Callum's gone with a 2-2 against Manchester City versus United. Yeah, it should be an interesting result, that, mate. Fingers crossed that's a draw. That will be ideal for us, mate. With all the high-level games you play to then hit December and you face a ton of games, it shows why you need a good experienced squad to step in for a few games as well. Yeah, it's very much, it wouldn't surprise me next 5 years, very much if a couple more, like if the Premier League opens up the squad pool of players a bit more, like makes it bigger. And if that's the case, so I don't know if that's allowed in terms of the FIFA regulations or whatnot. But for me, that's how you'd only get away from player fatigue. If UEFA and FIFA are wanting the average like European footballer and Premier League footballer to start playing in excess of an extra 20, 30 odd games a season, the squads need to get bigger. And that might be mad, but the amount of money that is getting generated in the Premier League, other squads and other leagues might not be able to cope with it. The Premier League certainly would be able to. But I think in terms of very much the squad's getting bigger, I think that's, for me, the only way that they will combat player fatigue and then player performances as well. So it's going to be one of them. Will be interesting. MSC's got 1-0 City. Yeah, it's you can't see City even like 4-0 in them. Like gone are the days where they used to have, what a player, but David Silva it was as well. You could do with David Silva at the minute. But I saw the Tottenham game, rubbish. Their fans want big Ange gone. Yeah, it still baffles me how Tottenham fans still continue to sack the last 10 managers, but don't divert their attention towards the people running a football club. Like the boards are like every season, nothing gets said about them as well. Like every season, every year that a manager gets sacked, what's the managers? What, like they sacked Conte? He's won the league at Chelsea. He's won numerous leagues in Italy as well. Jose won the league at Chelsea, won numerous leagues around the world as well. Those two got absolutely done at Chelsea. And especially when Conte just went on about 1 million rants about the players, about the fans. But even still, all the fans were laughing at him, going, he's lost his head. No, that's a manager that's come to your football club that wants the best for your football club. He's getting paid by your club as well. But he's trying to build on the lack of their culture at Tottenham in terms of winning trophies as well. He used to win trophies in the 60s and 70s, Tottenham, but like Liverpool, sometimes you just got to analyse where you have been, like Liverpool in the league. Like the only reason Liverpool weren't anywhere close to Manchester United on a consistent level or above Manchester United on a consistent level for 30 years was we were just absolutely garbage. Like we didn't have the caliber of player, we didn't have the caliber of coach in the dugout. Really, I know great manager Julio was, great manager Rafa was, and what he'd done. But at that period, the football club, we were a million miles away. But yeah, Tottenham, great stadium and all that, but most important, like product of every football club is the players on the football pitch. Like, and then that's how you attract the players as well. It's not because your stadium might look great and all that, but most important thing is the manager in the dugout, and certainly the people running the football club as well. Have you got the right people in the technical director spots as well, in terms of identifying and spotting proper talent, really, to bring them in as well? Like there's been no replacement for Harry Kane. And I know everyone goes Dominic Solanke, but Dominic Solanke is nowhere. He's not even half the player Harry Kane will ever, like, he'll never be Harry Kane's level in the Premier League, Dom Solanke. And not even done half the work rate as well, for me. Yeah. But great. 1-0 to Manchester City against United. Sorry, I'm going for 1-0 United win, Paul. That would help us out massively, mate. Certainly. But yeah, we can't see more goals as well. Yeah, fingers crossed there, Reds. Yeah, I think we've more or less covered all the bases really tonight. I think in terms of going into tomorrow's game as well, Gravenberch, Jones, Szoboszlai, I think we've mentioned obviously the Fulham midfielders. It's going to be another game where Liverpool will need to very much control the game, be patient, and very much look to capitalise on the balls and behind as well. Quincenza, I think, obviously the 15, number 15 for Fulham as well. When I've seen him on Match of the Day this season, when Jakob Anderson's not been there, they are extremely slow out in terms of how quickly they do react to certain transitions down the wide areas, especially if you can isolate Robinson and especially Tete. But if you can pin them back, but it's what the great work that Tete and Robinson do going the other way. That's where the space will open up, hopefully, for Fulham. But they're not going to turn up tomorrow, Fulham, and just sit behind the ball. They're going to do what they've always done, especially was it in the League Cup when we played the double header. Was it 2 seasons ago at Anfield or whatnot? And it was a madness of a game. That was in the first leg where they could have come away from Anfield with a win. Well, they could have been winning the first half anyway. Like they had numerous counter-attacking opportunities as well, but it's going to be one of them in terms of their quality as well. Spare me 1 second in chat. But yeah, play a 4-2-3-1 as well. But yeah, that's more or less summarising. I'm just looking at the other players as well. So yeah, it's going to be another game for Liverpool's fullbacks. If Robinson and Trent, I'd like to see Trent come a bit more centrally, like he did in the second half, in the Champions League game midweek as well. I think Liverpool, he controlled the game at the back end of that game really well. When he did go into the central area, that's when I think Liverpool did. I think when we were all watching the game, we started creating a bit more control, but certainly created a bit more better opportunities, and that's where, of course, the penalty situation did come about, where Liverpool down that left-hand channel, little interchange in play, and certainly we were patient as well, just being patient. If it's not working first 23, 40 odd minutes, we'll be patient. We'll get our opportunities. We've got a good enough quality within this side as well. But certainly tomorrow, it's not going to be a walk in a walk in the park for Liverpool. But Reds and rival fans as well, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. 6 of you in here, if you haven't already done so, do drop a like on the video as well. Be very much appreciated. And yeah, if you are watching this on Saturday morning or whatnot, do let us know your score predictions and everything going into this game. It's going to be a tricky one tomorrow, Reds. It's not going to be an easy one. I think this will be one of our most difficult games of the season. It always is when you play Fulham. It's always Liverpool's not struggle, but we always tend to have a very good game against, in terms of the opposition turning up to either Forest in recent seasons as well. Forest, Brentford, Brighton, and Fulham for me are like the 4 teams that really do my head in a negative way, because you always play. You come to Liverpool and you play proper football as well. But chat, have a lovely rest of your night as well. Massive thank you after they're gonna have me tea as well now, mate. But yeah, nice one, mate. And Paul as well, Callum, Dave. Where's Dave? Dave, have a good night, mate, as well. And anyone watching on the repeat, look after yourselves. And I will be live. Reds, make sure you tune in at 2:30 on Anfield Index. I will be live on Anfield Index to do all the hour and a half, the 2 hours that we do there as well. So if you got half an hour to kill before the game, make sure you head over to Anfield Index as well. Not just for my content, but certainly there's a lot more great content on Anfield Index as well. Pre and post match shows as well. But Reds, we will see you tomorrow. I'll see you on Anfield Index as well, and we'll see it on Anfield Road TV a bit later on in the evening as well for my post match on this channel as well. So massive thank you everyone for tuning in. If you've got a couple more days in work, go and smash it or whatnot. It's nearly the weekend anyway, and look after yourselves as well. And have a lovely start to your weekend, really, certainly. Ta-ra, though.